It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
And good morning. You should be able to hear my voice, but not see my face. Sorry I'm a little late, or actually a little early for some of you. We have been absolutely lighting it up today. And let's get right into it because I'll review. We're having a nice session. Let me just get my face going. Hello. Hello. This should be working now. All right. So why did I want to get started a little early today? Well, a couple of reasons. Because 12 to 1 is generally a slower session, slower time zone. I wanted to show you some trades that we're doing live, like we're long Coles right now, KSS. We are long Lucid. We had already shorted the queues. A lot of trades that we were planning to do hit this morning. So while I'm working through some of these orders, I'm going to go through these trades with you and show you the process and the reason I'm still doing this after 30 years. So, quick background on this trade. I've been trading for 30 years. One of the first trades I ever witnessed to be something where I could understand what was happening. By the way, Coles sold. Holy moly, Coles sold $13.35. Sold $13.25. All right. My out is now, I just sold some into the move, and now my stop is basically $13.99. So now I'm hoping for this $14.50 pivot. Gets over $14.50, I'm looking to sell some at $14.75, or if it breaks $13.99, I'm going to sell whatever I got left. Let me just show you why I'm back in this Coles trade, and I absolutely crushed it on the short this morning. Left 4 points on the table, so I'm a little upset. But now that it held this prior level and then it held it again, I bought it again. We traded it right here from $13.75 to around $14.25. Dipped back below that price. You give me a chance to buy a trade that I just made money on 20 minutes ago, I'll take another shot at it because the risk is already showing me exactly why. Well, my reward, hopefully my rewards are waiting at the orange line and the blue line, but the risk was already presented. Hey, I could buy this stock again at $13.80, this time it's $13.99. Break in here, and I'm using the bottom of these candles as my outs. Stock starts to rally, I sell into the move, and then I preserve capital by raising my stop to my entry price on what I got left. So we're also long RTX, and we just bought some 150 calls. There you go. There you go. I want to get excited, so let's explain. Let me go back for a second. You guys all hear me? You see me? Everything's okay? All right, I'm going to carefully explain what you're witnessing here, okay? The reversal trade on an earnings report has been working since I started trading in 1996. What is a reversal? A reversal trade on a stock, on an earnings play, is that the stock reports their earnings and it reacts to the earnings, either gaps up big on good news or whatever, or bad news and it gaps down. The reversal is when that stock, people come in the next day and they say, oh, blah, 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 it's RTX is gap down. Hey, I like that stock. I'm going to buy this dip. And the stock would rally. And I used to be questioning, I'm like, but they just reported this terrible number. Why is the stock going up? Said young Kenny. And then my mentor said, because people are buying the dip and they're taking advantage. But more importantly, people that shorted the stock, betting that the stock would go down on the numbers, are taking their profit. So if they're going to cover their short because they bet on it last night, that means the stock's going to go up, coupled with the idea that there'll be some dollar cost averaging on whatever stock. I'm using RTX as an example right now. That's the premise. So a gapped up stock no matter how good the numbers are, you have to think that somebody's in the stock before you. Somebody took that bet, whether yesterday or a couple of days ago, right? And now they've won the bet. They're not going to cash out of the whole thing, but they're going to take some chips off the table. That's proper trading mentality. And that's why this trade makes so much sense, because it actually is based in rational thought. Unlike what we're witnessing in this market right now, we're in irrational exuberance, if not psychotic exuberance, the way every stock is going up 5 and 10x coming off lows. This trade is a very conservative, understandable, rational thought. So the reversal, right, is when a stock goes from either red to green or green to red. And what we noticed, and this is going back 96, 97, 98, I've been trading a while. First trades we were doing reversal trades. And we would wait to see if the stock would either go from red to green or green to red, and then we would trade. So we're waiting for the reversal, the actual stock going from, like for instance, Coca-Cola today, right, is one of our trades. So normally back in the day, we would wait for the stock to go green, meaning break $70.07, the price from the close. And normally, and again, this one you went up 20 whole cents after it went green. And sometimes that's enough for the trade. You know, you're buying 2,000 shares of $70 stock, goes up 25 cents, you make $500. Okay, it's not a bad day. But usually you're expecting more. But that's the essence of the reversal. Fast forward to 2012, 2013, when we started to use VWAP exclusively, right? And what I noticed was that faux show bro pattern, the fake out, shake out, that has been around forever. Because if you look at any stock today, there's always a moment where it hits a new low, then it makes the comeback, or a stock that's at the highs will make a new high, then it rolls over. That's how the market mechanics is. So if you get a faux show and a VWAP break on an earnings report, you're getting a head start on a trade that has already proved to be phenomenal for over 30 years. So the idea is that when you're getting the combination of all the best trades that I've ever witnessed, all rolled up into one trade, that's the trade you not only should take, you have to take it. Because if you're not going to take this trade, you shouldn't be trading. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say it again. If you're not taking these trades, you shouldn't be trading, because you're telling yourself, well, that trade works all the time, but I've got something better. You don't. You don't have something better. There is nothing better than this trade. It's been working. In the last 3 years, there hasn't been one failed trade. Now, let me explain that. Let me elaborate. It doesn't mean you're going to stay in that trade all day once it works. It provides you a winning trade. For instance, the Coke. So the Coke trade, so let's go through the process. Why are we looking at Coke? They reported earnings. It's the only reason you're trading Coke, and we're about to get stopped out of this Kohl's. Why are we trading Coke? The only time they ever trade Coke, nobody trades the stock except for today, because they reported earnings. More activity makes the VWAP trade work better. Okay, what's it doing? It's slightly down. What's our default? If something's slightly down or down on earnings, yeah, edit and CDLX. Hopefully you got the CDLX too. But I'll elaborate. I'll talk a little bit about these swing trades, because most of them are coming to an end today. I don't want swing trades or investments or call spreads in my life while earnings plays are here. You know, all these shiny objects have been a distraction. The opens, the lucids, Kohl's was pretty good. So the idea behind the trade, right? Why are we trading it? They reported earnings. Look, the first move was down. There's the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal to the downside. So if you were up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock and you saw this activity, it provided you a short. Also another reason that I come in looking to buy it, because I've already missed the short. So when I came in, Coke's down. I'm looking for a reason to buy. So what do we wait for? We wait to see them fake out, shake them out, and then the breakout, the faux and the show. So the stock opens up, right? There's the rippage. So there's the 930 high candle. I'll show you why that's important in a second. And then by 932, you're at 68.69, right? So now go back and check some of these levels. People don't want to see stocks breaking pre-market lows. They put stops there, right? And then it tries to rally and then it rolls back over. People put stops at prior lows. And then it stops those people out. And you'll notice this more often than not, that a stock will make another new low before the turn, then the break. Fake out, shake out, breakout. Fake out, shake out, breakout. Faux, show, bro. Faux, show, and the bro. So now I'm going to bring it all home for you. We're trading a stock that reported earnings and it's gap down. Natural default is to look for the short covering and some buying on dips. Correct. We also love stocks that are reporting earnings that are below VWAP, that are breaking VWAP after the faux show. There it is. We love stocks that are rallying below prior day VWAP because that's our target, right? That's our target. So we have our reason to buy, where we believe the stock's going to go, and where we're going to sell it if we're losers. Now there's nothing left. Put the trade on. And again, the way you stay in business for 30 years is that if you buy a stock at 69, now this one I got a little head start. And again, before I even go any further, once again, the reason I love this trade is because I used to buy the 930 high break, right? The faux show would happen, and then we'd start to bro. One of the first trades we taught, if the stock fakes out and shakes out and then breaks the 930 high candle, this is old school trading because the market didn't open really. There was only, at one point, there was only 15 minutes of pre-market activity. Then they extended it to an hour. That was it. You didn't have any activity before 8:30. And then they extended that to 8, and they keep extending it, and now it's 24 hours a day, which takes a little bit away from these gap trades, but not anything significant. All right, so fast forward again. The reason this trade works so well is that now you're getting confirmation and validation of a trade that you know is probably going to work anyway, but now the algorithms themselves are saying, yeah, you're onto something here, friend. Get involved. So instead of waiting for here, or even the old school way of buying it, we used to buy it when it would go green. Now we're getting a head start on a trade that has been working for 30 years. So if you continuously search for these trades, and each morning I give you the list of stocks that you should be focusing on. Obviously, Kohl's was involved today because it was in play. Open, obviously, if you guys are watching that, edit to my friend. And of course, CDLX. But I'll give you that list in a second. So here's the Coke trade. If you are struggling trading, please take this trade. We haven't had a failed one in over 3 years. Everything else that you do, swing trading, call spreads, investing, thinking what the market's going to do 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now, nobody knows. This is something you could actually say, I kind of know what's going to happen. And it doesn't work all the time, right? Sometimes you just get to the 930 high and it finds resistance there and then it rolls over. But when you play by my rules, right, you're getting a great entry and then you go back to the rules. What's the rule? If I'm buying something at 69 and a quarter, I'm selling a little bit just to say I made some money. And then I raise my stop to my entry price. And then it goes to 69.50. You know what I'm doing there? Selling. Even if it's 20 shares, 50 shares, depending on your size of your position. I had 600 shares. I throw another 100 out there. And then at 69.75, what do I do there? I'm selling another 50 shares because I can. And then by 70, now I'm getting to the orange line. Perfect trade. Blue line to orange line. I'm winning. but I'm not going to sell it all because I'm thinking we're going to go to 70, at least 70.07, go green, and maybe tack on $1 or so, right? So I sell most. 80% of my trade is done by the orange line. And then it starts to rally. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. This thing's going to 70.5. And then it rolls over and it breaks back under 70. I sold another. And then I was like, oh man, it looks like it ran out of steam. All right, I'm not going to sell it all. I'm going to let it breathe, but I'm going to put a stop on where I sold it on the way up. And there goes my Coles. Bye-bye. Out. So on the way up, I sell. And then on the way down, I adjust my stops to where I sold on the way up. And that's why when you see a stock that has rallied, and you're thinking, hey, am I chasing? You don't know you're chasing until the trade sets up, right? So if you feel like you're chasing, you probably are. But that doesn't mean you're risking 2 points on the trade. You just have to adjust your risk to up there. And, you know, I do this on the fly better than anybody. And that's kind of what we do here. So let's take a look at Halliburton. I waited 3 months for this trade. 3 months. Why? Because I love Halliburton. I always get paid on this stock. There's something about Halliburton. Me and Halliburton are best buddies. Halliburton has been one of the best trades. And I don't know if you know, I'm not going to get into the relationship with my father, but my father's the greatest trader on earth by far. Dwarfs everybody, even the best hedge fund guys. My dad hasn't taken a loss in the market in 20 years since this debacle in Texas Instruments. Anyway, he gave me credit on the Halliburton. Anyway, I burned my dad with a couple of bad short positions in his account. It's been 22 years. He hasn't forgiven me. So no matter what I tell him to do now, he doesn't care. But this trade is undeniable, right? Halliburton, we've been trading this thing forever. So if you came in this morning, right, and your favorite stock is gapped down on earnings, you're reading the news, you care why it's gapped down? No. I'm just happy to see Halliburton red because I know I'm probably going to be looking to buy it. So bully for me. Halliburton's red on earnings. I don't care what the EBITDA was. I don't care what an analyst has to say. The news is out. It's over. I don't need to watch the news or listen to the news or know what conference call is happening or what analysts have to say. I know blue line, orange line makes the market go round. Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. So now with this trade, right, let's get rid of those red lines because those are some of my stops at the time. Look how clean and beautiful that chart is. Look at it. Does it make you feel something? Look at it again. You feeling it? You should. Because that's the trade. That trade right there, that chart is going to change your life. Do you feel it? I do. Because this is the beautiful, wonderful, faux show bro earnings report, blue line, orange line trade. And this is the trade that will fund, if you will, your cloves, your edits, your S-bets, and all the other psychotic trades that are going on lately. Let them be funded by the highest quality, the restaurant quality, if you will, of trades. So once again, let's walk through it. Hey, Halliburton reported earnings. Oh, good. I'm interested. Hey, they're gapping down. Awesome. I hope it faux show bros at the open. Oh, look, it does. It breaks a new low, then it comes back, then it breaks a VWAP. And it's breaking a half number. I'm supposed to be doing something at this point. Yes, I'm buying the half number break. Where are you placing your stops, Kenny? Well, I'll give you a hint. The fake out price at 2030 and the shakeout price at 2017, clearly defining my trade with 1,000 shares. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to sell 500 here and then 500 there and say, damn, that sucked, because not every trade's going to work. And my target price is the 930 high candle, because I'm going to sell some there, because when stocks get back to the 930 high candle, usually there's some jiggling and shuffling along, which you got. And then the jiggle and the shuffle led to what? The orange line. And then by orange line, we are done with 80% of the trade, right? And then just like we did on the way up, where'd we sell? Some at 2075, right? Some at 21. And then look, did it go back below 2075 with a VWAP? No. We're still long Halliburton. And that's the beauty of this trade, right? It takes your emotion out. Did it break 2075 on that pullback? Nope. Still in. Because what we do is if you're buying here at 20 and a half, you sold some 2075, you sold the most of it, the rest of it at orange line, 80%, you still got the 20%. So where do you place the stop? At the level where you sold some before. And lo and behold, we're still above that level, so we're still in the trade. Unlike Kohl's, right? If Kohl's wouldn't have broke $13.99, I'd still be in it. And look, it really didn't go anywhere. I probably should be buying it back right now. But that was my idea. I bought $13.99, I sold $14.12, I sold $14.25, I sold $14.25, I sold $14.12, and my stop was 14. It got me. They can't take the money from me now. It's in my account. And sometimes those are what you're going to get. Now, Halliburton, right, as I told you this morning, might be the most boring trade you'll ever take. But boring makes you money. Not being excited, being repetitious, being monotonous. And inevitably, if monotony I'm looking for a cool phrase that rhymes there. Money-making monotony. There you go. Money-making monotony. That's what this trade is. It's boring, but it works. Take it. Right? You guys still got some Lucid? Just hit new highs. Come on. So why are we trading Lucid long today? How about a 1-minute multi-day faux show bro reversal trade? It happens all the time, right? So if you missed the original entry on the Lucid, when it faux and shows and breaks over the VWAP, I heard there's a trade that works a lot. Take it. So we're back in. And again, I'm late to this trade because I bought it on the VWAP break. I bought the new high break, triple high break there, 297. Sold some at 302. Where do you think my stop is? Right. 297, my entry point, because I sold some. I put my entry as my stop. Now I can't lose. So, when traders look at stocks and they say, oh my God, what if it goes all the way back down to 270? Not with us in it. Not with me in it. I don't care where it goes. I know right now I'm looking to sell some at 312, and if it breaks 293, I'm out of the rest. That's it, right? Just like Halliburton. How you doing? Right? And the Kohl's, yeah. Sometimes you raise your stop to a point and it gets you, but that's okay. Not every trade's going to rock. Sometimes you just take what you can get, and yeah, you have to revisit. And now let's talk about the Qs, because this is my favorite trade of the day by far. Thank you, Theo. Theo was here for this. And if anybody needs any witnesses to these trades, we could back test it all, automate it. We're going to have it all automated inevitably. Don't take my word for it. Take the VWAP's word for it, right? That's why when I say this trade works every time, I qualify it every single time. Inevitably, a trade's not going to work. And when I say it works every time, it provides you with a winning setup trade. That doesn't mean it's going to be, it doesn't last all day, right? Like the Coke, right? We milked it for what we could get, and we're out. So let's talk about this stock Edit, right? Why are we looking at it, right? Because yesterday it was in play, late day buying, and then today you got yourself, and again, it's very subtle because the stock's not very active, but it's on our list to keep an eye on today because it was active yesterday. And then what do you see? Fake out, shake out, and then this is just what we call a VWAP jiggle. Just jiggling along, shuffling along, and then it resolves itself to the high. Great question, sir, Jeff. My orange line, we built it to grab as much data as we want. So if you like the phrase anchored VWAP, which of course my hero, Brian Shannon anchored VWAP, the second book of his series. If you like to use the phrase anchor, what I have done is I've anchored it automatically to prior day to grab the select data set that I have found to be the best. So when I look at today's trades, usually I'm looking at today's VWAP. Orange line is prior day, but it's more than the prior day. It's grabbing all the data from now the overnight session, every tick, and factoring it in, spitting out that price. And for the last now going on 13 years, I've never seen a trade that's so accurate to predict where a stock's going to go, where there's going to be some sellers, where you're going to find support. And I do mess with TQQ or SQQ all the time. I do. But now with the daily options, I'm normally an option, a 0-day QQQ option trader, or I just trade the mothership with, 300 or 400 shares. So let's talk about the Q short before we go any further. Now, today was something special. Right? Today was something special, real special. Okay. Why was it super special? Because again, this whole business that we're in here, right? The orange line is multiple time frame VWAP. Right. So today, orange line is way up there because it's grabbing yesterday's data. The market is obviously lower from where it is yesterday. Prior day VWAP is up here. But I'll show you some levels that we were looking at today. So there's the 5-day VWAP. That was our target for the downside move, and we got it. And then I grabbed 10 days worth of VWAP. And that was telling me not to cover it all because the math was telling me 57.50 was inevitable today. But the market decided it wanted to pivot basically off the 15-day. And I think we actually could get some more selling the next couple of days. But let me explain why I came in thinking short. And it's a terrible trade. But yesterday, we had something that we don't normally see. We saw a market that refused to go breaking highs later in the afternoon. Got to the resistance, and resistance was not futile. By the way, this RTX trade stinks now. Can't win them all, right? I mean, we're using profits from the stock to buy the options, but now the options are garbage. And we got a couple of days. Anyway. But these QQQ short, right? This idea that I came in, and this is a great, let me elaborate here. So yesterday's late day selling, we actually got short the Qs on the rollover, made money, actually bought puts at 7 cents, sold them at 9, 12, 16. And then some of our traders, I didn't do the second one. I'm not going to bullshit you, but it went right back down to 7 cents. And somebody said, hey, why don't we do it again? And I went to buy them at 7, didn't get it. And next thing you know, they went to 9, 17, 21, 28, actually hit 35. So it was a pretty exciting close for us. But what was most exciting was that we were seeing something we don't see. Selling. Like real selling. There was actually some sellers out there yesterday at the close. Now, as a trader that's been doing this my whole life, late day activity is more important than actually the beginning of the day. And it certainly nothing in the middle of the day matters. It's the beginning of the day, the late, and the end of the day. The end of the day is what really counts. That's where the institutions come back and solidify their orders, and they make things happen, right? By the way, Lucid's still working here. Come on. This is the most boring 11 cents you'll ever make in your life. You guys still long Lucid? I'm holding on for 4 more cents. Maybe we get it. I mean, Jesus, that's some boring trade. But the idea here was that we saw an anomaly. And I know it sounds funny, but we really haven't seen much selling in this market since April 9th, and especially since the power gap on May 12th. And speaking of the power gap, and speaking of CDLX, stealth pick of the day, anybody in? You know the stealth picks? Beyond Meat, Stitch Fix, CDLX, Clove. Shh, don't tell anybody. See, this is why I'm going to talk about what I'm about to say. Let me get this thought out. On August 16th at 12 p.m., Saturday at 12 p.m., August 16th, I'm going to go over all this stuff when the market's closed so we can concentrate. I'm going to go over why I pick my stocks, where you should buy them, what you should expect on the downside, where to place your stops, and how to analyze your risk. I'm going to do 2 hours of it nonstop. And then maybe even that third hour, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to price options, because I was an options principal. So stop what you're doing right now. Pencil that in. August 16th, do what you can to spend a couple of hours with me, because I'd rather do these explanations while I don't have trades on and I'm distracted and things are going by and I want to get involved, right? Like Sedge. You guys know about my Sedge trade, right? Come on. So let me continue with this thought process. And this is why this trade is my favorite trade, not of just today, of the year. This is my favorite trade of the year. And we've had better trades, but I'm just saying, when you come in, like, let me get the whole thought out here. So yesterday we saw late day selling, and the first thing I said was, I expect there to be residual selling 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Because we saw late day selling, which was the anomaly, late day selling, institutional selling tends to show up the next morning. There's your thesis. There will be residual selling tomorrow morning. Look to short the Qs. So that's your idea. And then here comes the wonderful world of VWAP. So with every trade I do now, if I don't got a confirmation of my idea, I'm not putting the trade on. I ain't that good, right? Especially shorting. Trust me. I've never blown up an account long. It's always been a short every time. And I've had 4 blowups in my career. It's amazing I'm actually still doing this. And I got lit up by UVXY. We could tell that story some other time. So I know I'm coming in tomorrow with purpose and determination. I'm going to be the shorter of the Qs and I'm going to own it. Right? So I walked in, I'm thinking, is this really happening? Am I going to get a chance to short the Qs today above the VWAP on a day where I'm thinking about shorting the Qs? So in this case, let me get rid of these red lines. These are from yesterday. So let me explain. And again, I'm going to show you how to read all these charts on August 16th. When the prior day VWAP, okay, this is your orange line. When the prior day VWAP is above today's VWAP, quite often you're looking at it as a target on the upside. But also what it does is it shows you that there's some real sellers up there. That's your prior day VWAP. So if you're below prior day VWAP and then you break today's VWAP, more often that confirms the bias that I came in with. So I came in looking for a reason to short. Give me the reason. And I didn't short the open, even though I should have, because I was too busy shorting Kohl's and buying some Halliburton and some Coke. I'm only a human being. I can only do a few things at once, right? I missed the Sedge. I wanted to short some Clove. Beyond, there's a lot going on every day. You got to choose wisely. You know, that's why I got my son helping me now, and I am hiring because there is so much going on, and I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of trades. All right, let me walk you through this, and then we can get to the Sedge breakout. That candle right there. Boom. All right. By the way, if anybody's in Lucid, again, sorry I have to talk through my trades while I'm here. This is why I want to do it on a Saturday. So I'm in trades, but I wanted to be in some trades. That's why I want to do the show at 11 o'clock. This is what we're doing every day. I'm navigating 6 things right now, right? By the way, CDLX, if you're in it, please sell it right now, okay? We're almost to the target, right? Don't be crazy. You're up near the 3. By the way, if you guys know about SBET, you should know about CDLX, right? Pick this one right off the trash heap. Remember yesterday? We were looking for the dirtiest, grossest, worthless, most garbage stocks ever because they're all ripping back to yearly VWAPs. Hello, Frisco. But you don't got to wait for the extra 5 cents. Be my guest, sell some here. And I do think we're going higher because this market, again, it's relentless. So, but if you're in this name today, you have to, by law, sell at a whole number, especially when you're up 50%. Even though we're expecting more, you sell right here. At least 50% of what you got, if not 80%, because this is now winning. Awesome. Awesome. Let me show you that chart again, by the way. This is the Andy Dufresne that we were talking about yesterday until that insufferable guy interrupted me. So here's the Andy Dufresne. And when stocks come out of the Andy Dufresne, they tend to run to the closest multiple VWAP area. And in this case, this is the yearly VWAP. And this trade that we've been doing this year has been working on every trade. And that's why this year is going to go down in history, because the day trades are always working, that 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. But now you're getting this Andy Dufresne, these stocks that are coming out of the doldrums or the muck. And if there is a multiple time frame, and this is the script that I give. So not only does it work here, so CDLX today, you're looking at prior day VWAP was a hold, and then it starts to rally. There's the faux show. And then if people forgot about CDLX, it gave you one more chance. Fake out, shake out, VWAP break, 250 break, got you 3. Awesome, right? 250 stock going up 50 cents. It's awesome, right? And look where it went. It hit 306, my friends. Now watch. What price was the multiple time frame VWAP? 306. It's okay to be amazed. I was amazed too when I first started to look at this stuff. The market is rigged, and we actually have the rigging. And if you see this every day, and this is one of those things, don't take my word for it. Look what just happened. It went to the exact price. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. And you're still in the Halliburton, right? So now Halliburton, we go back to the 1 minute and the 1 day, right? So now you got to the 1 day, finally, right? So now you raise your stop. Now you're not letting it go back to 2070. Now you've sold some more because you got orange line and a little bit above, right? So now Halliburton, right? We got the 1 minute. We got the multi-day. We just got the reversal, right? So now it finally went from red to green. You can't sell it now. We're done with 80% of this trade. Now you hold on, but now you raised your stop to the pivot, which was basically 21.08. Let's give Halliburton 4 more cents. It broke out from 21.04. 21.04 is our out. And now you don't sell Halliburton till 4 o'clock unless it breaks 21.04. So now you have permission to hold because you've sold most of it and you hang on. And you raise your stop, and now you can't lose. And again, look, I had the same intentions on Kohl's. I raised my stop to $13.99 to break even. They went and got me. I had full intentions of holding the stock, but it went and got me. Now, again, look, it's consolidating at a higher level. I think I might have to buy this stock again, but that's my choice. I'm in the driver's seat, right? By the way, your edit new highs. Wonderful. We're about to sell some Lucid at 312, hopefully, here on this move. I can hear my dog right behind me. Hang on. Yes. Oh, it must be 11:40. There he is. You could set your clock to my dog, by the way. There he is. You guys remember Brody? You want to go out? Did Johnny fall down the well? Yeah, Sedge might be my favorite stock on the planet right now. because I like when stocks are going up when they really have no business going up. And that is really the best time to own a stock. It really is. So let me explain the Sedge trade. Again, Andy Dufresne all over the place. This is one of the biggest Andy Dufresnes. And the stock let us down 4 different times over the last year trying to come out. And these last couple of times, this is a 3-year chart. So we've been tracking Sedge since this breakdown circa last year, around the same time, end of June. Stock was just forgotten about, and even once it broke under 20. So basically, I mean, you could even look at it. That's 3 years worth. But here's the 2-year on a daily chart. Sold to you, Lucid, 1312. Why? Why 312? Because that's 1/8 of a point. Still got the Halliburton, right? So you see the Sedge, right? Now that is what I like. That's why I love being a bear, because I keep finding these garbage stocks that crash. And by the way, most stocks are pump and dumps. Even Tesla and Amazon. Somebody comes along and does something better than the company that you're in. Next thing you know, nobody wants to own your stock. It goes to zero. 90% of stocks have a shelf life. There's only a few Microsofts and Amazons, and most stocks are garbage. And that's why I'm a bear by nature. And I like being that way because I don't believe in any of this bullshit. I'm just in it. I'm in it. You want to provide me some winning trades? I'll stay long as much as you want to let me stay long. All right. Anyway, no need to elaborate on everything I say. But here's Sedge, right? Loving it. Why? Because it stinks, right? So when the stinky stocks, obviously the trend of 2025 is stinky stock comeback year. Right, we've had this is like the Cathie Wood moment, 2021, where it's the everything rally, and they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. People are looking for new places to put their money. How about that SPET new highs? Come on, my son, fuckhead that he is, better be in this name. I'll be damned if you're not trading it. Crazy. So here, this Sedge trade. Look how nasty this chart is, right? I mean, it's even nastier. Let me show you that 3-year chart again. So I'll show you a 5-year chart. Here's a 3-year chart, right? I want to grab in the whole thing so you can see it. 10 years on a weekly, you really get to see it. There you go. From a penny stock, ENPH and Sedge with a maybe you don't know this, but ENPH and Sedge, right? They still hold a record for the most percentage gain of any stock on ever. These were penny stocks that went to $400. ENPH, Sedge. So when they crash, and inevitably most of them do, right? When they crash, that's when I come in, because I know that the shorters overstay their welcome, even on most stocks, even stocks that are probably going to zero. There's always a move to the upside where the shorters are kind of forced to cover it, kind of the GameStop philosophy, right? I love the GameStop philosophy. So when that GameStop AMC saga began, I was like, why is everybody getting excited about this? This has been going on forever. Short squeezes on heavily shorted stocks. Wow. Great. I'm glad it became a thing. It's been a thing forever. But that's where these stocks come into play. So let me go now, zoom in for the last year. And let me give you 2 years. You see it? Just wallowing in its own muck, right? Trying to come out. This one, we really thought we nailed it. We were in this muck right here. We finally came out. No reason to think we weren't about to blast off to 25. And they shoved it back in our face. When Andy Dufresne, okay, here we go. Now we finally got over that peak. No doubter this time. This time it's going to go to 30. Nope. Back into the muck. This time at least we were smart enough because we cashed out. Back into the muck. And then here comes the rally. One more time. Is it going to come out? It fails to come out. Gets smacked. Now it started getting smacked down by news. I don't trust news. Right? I don't trust the news. I don't trust the internet. I don't trust when people are telling me to do something. I do only what I see, right? And what am I seeing? I'm seeing a stock that tried to break out and failed. So we're kind of like, all right, maybe this thing's never, ever going to do anything. And then it starts to rally. But then the government says, no, we hate solar stocks. It kills elephants and causes cancer. And they came after the name. And it still came back to break a new high, even after the government said, we're not supporting solar. And then it breaks out, and the government again said, by the way, if you didn't hear, we don't want you to own these stocks, they basically said. And it crashed. And what did it do? It still came back. This move is the most legitimate move this stock has ever had in its life. Because now the government, the United States government, has tried to destroy this company specifically twice in the last 3 months, and it's coming back. That's real buying. So somebody hates this stock, but the players that are running it are more powerful than the United States government. You want to be involved. And if this thing does what I think it's about to do, there's the orange line. But wait, that's just the first orange line, right? That's the breakdown price from back here. Look at this chart. So now go to that 3-year chart again. Right? It's right there. It's right there. This stock could be looking at 100% gain. And in this market, where everybody's buying every dog shit stock that exists, and the government came after this stock 3 different times in the last year and they couldn't hold it back, how are you not buying it, right? Because it makes no sense. There's no reason for the stock to go up. Buy it. By the way, Coles, if you bought it back, congratulations. I stink. See, I'm goofing around with you guys, and I just missed the trade. I talked myself into waiting for it, and then I waited and waited and waited, and I didn't buy it. And if you just bought it, yeah, I'm rooting for you. Let's go. By the way, you see that print right there? Holy shit. Wow. You see that print right there? I'm not saying it's about to go there, but that's always encouraging. Yeah. That's always encouraging. All right, so what do we got going on? You guys are still long Halliburton, right? So right now we're set to own Halliburton for the rest of the day until it breaks down, right? You guys got the Lucid. You sold some at 312. All right, cool. Now you put 3 as your out on the rest, right? We're trading a $3 stock. You're not looking to make $4 on the trade, you know? It's not like, again, like I was saying when I first rolled in here this morning, don't be blinded by the idea that every stock's going to go from $1 to $5. We're in a very, very specific time right now, and that time right now is the everything's running moment. Right? It's going to end, and that's why I came in long. Looking to short the Qs today because we did run out of steam on a lot of these crazy names. And usually that translates to the overall market taking a break. And what's my market's not the Dow and the SPY. My market's the Qs. So when I say the market, I'm always talking about the Qs. I don't trade SPYs or diamonds anymore. I'm a QQQ guy. All right, let me set up. You know what I might do? I just might keep going. I'm going to see if I can push this other thing that I'm doing simultaneously because that would be interesting if I could. All right, listen, if you are in Coles right now, right, and I'm supposed to be in this trade with you because it, held that pivot and starts to rally again, might as well take it. So now, yeah, you still need that half break. You get the half break, you get half bid. You're looking for it to get back to that 69 area, kind of where it broke down from. And then, yeah, I mean, you should expect, I'm not expecting to go 21, but you see the uptrend. You've been consolidating at higher levels. A lot of activity. 143 million shares on it. It's pretty good. All right. Let me just check my emails and make sure I get this other thing up and running. Spence, if you're out there, we could keep going and going until my computer blows up. I'll just pump this out. See if we can get this going everywhere. Oh, I'm down a mouse. AEHR. Yes, that was a good one from today. They had some interesting news, right? I will. Kimbo Slice, good name. Hey, hang on, I might not be able to do face today. Can you hear me? All right, hang on. Let me just get rid of these echoes and stuff. So if I'm not going to do my face, just the volume, do I have to reload the screen again?
Let's see here.
So I'm running a couple of different things right at the same time. Hang on a second. What do you say?
I said to 10,000 people just hear me call you.
Yeah. And also my mouse isn't working over here. Hey, what's up? Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Yes. You let it run whenever you're ready. Yeah, I think it'll work. I just got like 500 things running. All right, cool. So that should be good. Let me just get rid of this echo. Chickadee check? Chickadee check. All right, we're good. All right, so cues, yes. So this morning, right, the residual selling and all that, right? So this trade right there is what I call the finger of God. You guys ever see the movie Twister, the F5 hurricane, right? Finger of God. When the finger of God rolls over, and down here is where it's destroying the town, right? Usually the knuckle is above the VWAP and then the roll. So I didn't get short the cues until I saw the knuckle and then the roll and then a new low break. Because once again, I like trading things when you don't normally see something happening and then it's happening, run in that direction. Market really doesn't really want to go down lately. Well, for the last 3 months, it's been relentless. So what the hell just happened? Oh, we're in the middle of a buy program or something. Apparently my friend just loaded up on Alibaba. Okay. Good for you. Don't text me about Chinese stocks long. I boycott Chinese stocks. All right, before we go any further, let me just get through this trade, right? So, and also I want to show you something kind of cool while we're here. I'm not going anywhere, by the way. I'm just going to let this thing run. So I'm looking for confirmation that that late day seller was going to still be here. So the market's gapping up, great. VWAP break, great. But that's the real great moment. And I don't know it's going to roll over until it does, right? So that's how I identify the risk on this trade. So when I saw it, I'm stalking it for a short. It comes back above the VWAP and rolls. That's my confirmation because it can't stay above the VWAP. And even better, that's the opposite of the faux show bro. So watch, check this out. So you put a minus sign in front of the QQQ. There's the fake out, shake out, breakout. See what I did there? I just put a minus sign in front of the symbol and it flips the chart over because sometimes the shorter or shorting doesn't compute to a lot of people. They need to see it visually as a long trade. Wouldn't you take that as a long? Of course you would. And you're identifying risk, right? So if you're buying here, one stop would be there, two stops would be there, and the third would be there. It's the same for the short. So now let's go back to reality, right? Yes, Alibaba. So going back to reality, you're a shorter here using that, this, and that as your outs. And again, assuming, again, first rule of shorting the cues is assume it's not going to work. Make sure you know where you're going to get out. People think that's a pessimistic way of going through trading. Do it. Then you survive. I think negatively first, maybe because I'm a pessimist. I also have a Jewish mother where nothing's going to work out ever. And everything's negative all the time. So I prepare for that, right? And in this case, I got the rollover. And then again, going back to prior day VWAP, right? The prior day VWAP was up here saying there was resistance up there. So now I got to look at different time frames. So I take 2 days worth of data, right? And spits it on the chart. It's right around that same price where today's VWAP is. So now I want to look at 3 days worth of data. All right. Now we're breaking the 3-day and the pre-market lows. Super bearish. Now I'm going to look at 4 days worth of data to give me some targets. Aha. First target. Look where we stopped. At the orange line. Covered 50%. Right? Then I'm going to look at 5 days worth of data. A little bit lower. Gets there. Covered some more. And now those two levels where I covered became my stop. And as we broke down under there, right, I'm not thinking I'm covering anymore unless it breaks to the next level. So the way you stay in these trades, and again, this is a big part of what we'll do on August 16th, is how to manage the trade to stay in for the bigger move. And this is the way. You get out of some, lower your stop. If you're long, obviously, you get out of some and raise your stop. And inevitably, it's going to get you, right? Inevitably, most of the time, because we do have bullish choppy market, especially on the Q short, inevitably, when it goes back above these levels, you don't think about it. You're out. That's how you stay profitable. You don't think, oh, man, I thought today was going to be the big one. Well, that's great that you thought that. You got most of what you thought was going to happen. And now you have to admit to yourself that it's over. And it was fun while it lasted. And you did as best as you could. All right. Wait, hang on. Let me just check my producer here on the other side.
Is there any way that we could get you to put your camera on, Max?
It might blow up my computer and ruin the party for everybody. Let me try. Anyway, actually, I can't even get that word out. Oddly enough, the market actually just became a short, as I was saying, all that. So anyway, I'm out. I'm not short the Qs anymore because they broke back above levels from where I don't let myself stay short. All right, hang on. I'm going to test something out here. Give me a second. I mean, sometimes you don't want to see my face because, it's very distracting. If this works, I'd be actually kind of surprised. Oh. All right, hang on. Don't say anything until I press this button. Hello. Now, wait, I'm going to try something even crazier. Hold on. Let me just use all right. I think I'm pushing 17 websites at the same time and my trading platform. And I'm running 3 porno sites at the same time. Look at me. This is awesome. Good thing I got that extra gig from Verizon. Can you put it back for me? All right. All right, good. Give me a heads up. So, yeah, I mean, the day is still afoot, as we say, right? By the way, I'm hearing rumbling in the background. What is that? Who is that? You're not allowed to eat. Get back in the freaking cage. My son thinks he's allowed to eat before I eat. Am I eating breakfast? There's no eating. Actually, give me, I'm gonna let this intro come in. Get a quick beverage. Do it. By the way, maybe we get some gambling on with some polls options because now they'd probably be fairly priced middle of the day. I know. I know. Alibaba. How are you? Good to see you. You miss me? Crazy times, right? Good to see everybody. Let me get my chart up. Right now, you're coming in hot. We're in the middle of doing 3 broadcasts today, and it's been, let me say, not just a good day. It's a perfect day. So let me start by inviting you to something. On August 16th, what I'm going to be doing on a Saturday is I'm going to be getting together with my members. This is usually VIP members only, but we're going to extend it to the masses. And on August 16th for 2 hours, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, at least 2 hours, because I tend to continue to talk. What we do here in the middle of the day, this review for me is becoming a little distracting because I'd rather be trading and finding ideas and making money than doing a review of the trades that I'm already in that you should be in. But we're going to do a combination of all that today. But on August 16th, the market will be closed. It'll be a Saturday. So if anybody's interested, what I'll be doing for 2 hours is explaining this trade that I continuously say works every time it shows up. And it worked again today on every trade that showed up. This is the trade. This is the trade that not only should you be taking, this is the trade that if you're not taking it, you shouldn't be trading. And I say that not to sound arrogant or conceited. This is a trade setup that's easy to understand. It works lately every time it shows up. And it works every time it shows up. So if you're not taking this setup, you're saying you've got another trade that works every single time it shows up, which I'd like to know what that trade is if you have one. But I haven't found a trade that works better than this. So right now we're long the Coles, we're long some Halliburton, we're long some Lucid. And I'll take you through some of the trades that we set up today. And again, this will be a nice review for the people that have been hanging with me since 9 o'clock this morning. Hello, Kimbo. I think this is still running. Can I get a what's up from the Raging Bullers? We're still on? Yes? No? Check, check. No, I'm doing that. This is the other guys. These are the other ones I'm talking to. I know you're there. Kimbo Slice, you still with me? I'll just keep going anyway. It doesn't matter. As long as Ryan's here with me, we're all gonna have a gay old time. Hey, there you go. Hey, what's up? All right. So again, you heard about August 16th. Be there or be a rectangle. No RSVP needed. Just show up. Find out. You could email my corporate overlords at kenny@hitthebid.tv. That'll go to my handlers, if you will. And you could ask permission to hang with me on August 16th. And if you want to go see Yacht Rock afterwards, I'll see you in Jersey. All right, so let's go through this whole thing one more time. So that perfect trade that continuously shows up today, it showed up on Coke, and it was awesome. What you're looking at here, if you haven't noticed, it's the same screen every time. I'll give you Home Depot in a second. But I trade earnings reversals, and they're stocks that are either gapped up or down that have reported earnings that then break VWAP from either underneath or on top, and I go that direction, and I use prior day VWAP or anchored to prior day as my target, and you can see the perfection that was the Coke trade, blue line to orange line, cashing out up there, getting stopped out of the rest. We also had another trade in Halliburton, which we are still in right now. Notice it looks just like the the Coke trade, because the trade is the setup.
Hey, you want to hear some Matrix?
No.
On Pat McAfee show, guess who's on? Halliburton.
Oh, weird. That's the Matrix right there. By the way, if you're not long Coles yet, what are you waiting for? Come on now. So this Halliburton trade, right? You got the fake out, shake out. You love that trade. And then you got the VWAP break on an earnings report. If you get the faux show bro VWAP break on an earnings report, the trade has provided you a winning trade every time it's shown up for the last 3 years, and it coming in around 80% for the last 13 years on this trade. The last 3 years, we haven't had one loss. And that doesn't mean it can't go up and then inevitably go down and become a loss. But if you're in a winning trade and you let it become a loss, you, in fact, are the loser, because that's improper trading. So right now, why are we long Coles? Why are we long Halliburton? Why are we long Lucid? I will go over these wonderful entries right here with you, as these are live. So Coles, if you didn't know, this was my first trade of the day, and it was certainly not a long trade. I was saying, holy moly, what the hell is going on with Coles? There's no way I'm buying this. Oh, man, I should have bought it. Oh, there's no way I'm buying this. Oh, God, I should have bought it. There's no way I'm buying this. Oh, my God, I should have bought it. And then my thought price went from, there's no way I'm buying it. When the hell do I short this thing? What the hell is going on? When do I short it? I can't wait to short it. What the hell is going on? I can't wait to short it. And then it rolled over, and it broke under 20. And I gave it a shot. Now, why? Because that's what I do. Stocks that are up 80%, I look for a reason to short them. And now it got over 20. What did I talk about? That's a fake out, shake out. If you flip the chart over, now watch. I'm going to show you on a KSS. Flip it over for a second. Sorry, I put the wrong thing in. Minus KSS. Fake out, shake out, VWAP breakout. Wouldn't you buy something that looks like that? Of course you would. So why wouldn't you short it? It's just the opposite trade, right? So KSS, right? We shorted it. Now, I wish I could tell you tall tales of massive gains, but I shorted some at 20 as a goof. By 1750, I'm covering half of it. By the time it's breaking VWAP, I'm almost done with the trade. And then it rips and then starts to come back, and I use 1750 as my out, and I wound up getting out at all at 1750. I made 2.5 points. And then the stock plummeted 5 more. Was it a good trade? It's all right. I would like to make the extra 5, but, at 1750, I got content. I left my stop there at 1750, and they went and got me. What are you going to do? I could have shorted it again. You see where it broke the VWAP and confirms its weakness from the underneath? I could have shorted it again, but then once I missed something on the downside, then I say to myself, When will the shorters cover? Well, I didn't give myself a chance until we broke over the 1363, starts to rally, we made some money. Came back, and then it faked out, shook out around that same area where I owned it, and I tried to trade again, got paid. Now here I'm thinking, all right, we're going to break this orange line and we're going to rip, but it rolled over, and it got me to sell again at 14. But then it didn't go anywhere, and it just consolidated. So I said, if I get a chance to buy it at 14 again, I should. And then look what it did. It got to 1405, 1407, just bought 1413, 1414, sold 25, sold the 50 again. And now, again, the same exact trade we had on earlier. We're hoping that this consolidation now is at these upper levels. So the next move will get us to the VWAP retracement at 1527. And that's why it's not a bad trade. Now, my son, he is addicted to this stock, SBET. And you know what? I don't want him trading this exclusively because these are the stocks that will inevitably kick your ass. But he did it on a faux show bro. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. The setup transcends all trades and all time frames. I like using it on the day, but this setup works weekly, monthly, yearly, lifetime, because it's a stock that just breaks a new low and then comes back and breaks back above it. I like it as a day trade because it's right in your face, it's visceral, and it's in the moment. So when you see a stock, hey, I'm thinking about buying this stock. Oh, look, it's under the VWAP. It just broke a new low. Now it's coming back and breaking VWAP. Well, here's your chance, buddy. And that's where my son bought it. Fuckhead that he is, left his wallet in dead man's hands. Crazy. Sorry, I can't not say that every time I mention my son. And look at him. Look at the kid. Getting paid. And I don't know if he just got stopped out, but where he places his stops is where Big Daddy taught him. Where you sell on the way up becomes your stops on the way down. And look, they just tried to search for my son's order, probably right there. And if he has a proper stop at 28.38, that he still might be in the name. So there you go. Even on the crazy ones, fake out, shake out, breakouts, they continue to be winning trade. Now let's talk about the loss that we have on the books, because they're not all winning, right? So we had this beautiful RTX trade, right? And it was wonderful. It's fantastic, right? We got the fake out, shake out, right? It's the same trade all the time. Faux show, VWAP break, earnings report. Now look at you got to go back to the 1 minute. Look at that. Now, why did I turn this? How did I turn that into a loss? Well, I'll explain. I bought the stock, right? And the stock made us money. But I also wanted to participate in the 150 calls. And I bought them late, right? So that's why option trading is hard. Now, if I would have bought the 150s when I should have been buying the 150s, which was the VWAP break, I bought the 150s at, basically top tick this thing, because I thought that it was about to break through the multi-day VWAP and turn into a monster. So I used some of the RTX money from the stock trade to buy the options, and I've thrown the money out the window right now. And usually I give this, an all or nothing kind of thing. I bought three. What we got? Well, we only got 3 contracts, basically at $1.60. So not that good of a trade there. But listen, they're not all going to break. That was a little anticipation trade. And, when you look at the chart on the day, it makes sense. So a little disappointed, sure. But quite often, that's all you're going to get. Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. You're in the stock from 145. It got to 150. That's 5 points. You got 300 shares. You got your $1,500. You take $600 of that and you throw it on an option trade. Yeah, you gave back the 600 right now, but you still got 3 days. So we're in the 150s at 160. And, again, it is only Tuesday morning. We do have 3 more days on this trade. But right now, it's ugly because we top ticked it. But I had to give it a shot just in case this became another Halliburton. And I'm not done with the trade. I actually should probably buy a couple of more contracts down here to cost average because I only have 3. As a matter of fact, let's do it. Yeah, I just talked myself into that. RTX, let's see, 150 calls. We spent 160 on them, and now they're 77 cents. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy 3 more contracts at 65 because I'm probably holding these anyway. RTX. Sorry, I can't see. RTX. You know what? I'm not going to buy them because the 149s at 106 is such a better deal. Yeah, I'm going to buy the 149s. The 149s, only 60 cents out of the money for $1.10. That's actually a much better price than ponying up another 70 cents for the 150s. Well, all right. Or we just buy the stock again, pay for the whole thing. All right. Well, there you go. Just put on a trade. Didn't really think I was going to be buying more RTX, but again, with the option trade, this is not a 0-date option. This is for Friday. But look at the perfection of the trade, right? This is what I wanted to show you again. These trades they're exquisite. And how do you blow a trade that's this beautiful? Out of the money options, right? Because the essence of this trade, and I'll explain this to you on August 16th, you don't want to be buying the 150s. I bought the 150s because the stock had already ripped. If anything, you want to put that lotto play on at the VWAP break down here. So let's look at the difference. So let's say the 150s at the original VWAP break, you're talking about 22 cents. You would have been laughing your ass off selling to me at 160. And we got the worst price of the whole day. Where the hell's even the trade? Oh, we got one. Oh, sorry, it's 140. Oh, they're going at 160. Am I talking about the wrong contract here? Right. Which contracts did we buy in RTX? The 150s, no? Well, if it was the 149s, I feel a lot better. Hang on a second. We might have a psycho alert. Psycho alert. BMNR. Psycho alert. This thing. BMNR. Hang on. By the way. Wait, you bought the 149s or the 150s? Which one was it? The 149 or 150? No, which one did you buy? Well, there you go. All right, I thought you got them. Oh, even better. So now I'll buy them. Oh, good. I thought he was in the trade. That's hilarious. All right, now I definitely should buy them. It's like free money. So anyway, yeah, I was just saying the 149s are a much fair price than the 150s. But now you guys want to get crazy for a second? Let's take a look at BMNR. Hang on a second. You got yourself a 1-minute multi-day VWAP break right there. Again, this is not the BMNR from 2 weeks ago. This thing's been a choppy, gross mess. And it is already green, so it's not a reversal. Man, it really did get quiet here, right? The volume just dried up on the market. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff going on my screens that you don't see. it's like we kind of just hit a pause, which I'm digging, right? We're due for a pause that actually leads to a sell-off, because usually boring markets are bullish. I'm slanted to the bear side again, especially with the late day selling yesterday, the follow through this morning. I probably would look to go short later again, if all this consolidation leads to a breakdown. And if we do break, and again, this is another trade that we haven't seen in a long time, prior low break. So today's lows on the Qs, if you break those lows, and I'm talking about any time, like today, tomorrow, next day, you're probably finding to get some follow through, because we have not been breaking down under prior day lows. All right, you guys want to get nuts? I'm going to buy some BMNR. You want to get crazy? Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's go. Big size. Big size. I'm in. Let's go. Big size. Okay, we're making money already. All right. I'm already going to offer some out. Oh, shit, 50 sold to you. I love it when it works that fast. I'm in at 42. What are you doing? I'm selling some at 42.50. How you doing? Good seeing you. Hey, Fredo, good to see you. Oh, and it's over. You even get a chance to sell it again. All right. I still got some, but I just sold some at 42.50. All right. By the way, this stock will terrorize you. So you got to give it at least $1. If you bought it 42, your out is 41. So I'm glad it popped first. Now if I lose on the rest, it's not so bad. Wow. But you see how it didn't follow through? 2 weeks ago, this thing would break a high today and rip 5 points. Now you could see it's different. The sellers are out there. But, you give me a 1 minute multi-day VWAP break, I got to give it a little bit of a shot. Now, if we follow through on this next move, maybe we get a couple points out of it. But this is not your daddy's BMNR. It's a lot different from last week and the week before. So yeah, going down the list of stocks, that we had some fun with, obviously SBET and Tron. You guys, hope you made some money on that Tron trade. And then it crashed, had a nice comeback. It's kind of in limbo right now, and the volume dried up. So when the volume dries up and the stock's floating around, you kind of ignore it like everybody else. You go find something else, like Open. When the volume dries up, you'll know these crazy moves are over. But, you had 2 billion shares traded on Open yesterday. You still got 680 million, and it's only 12:30. So it's still in play. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. What a weird coincidence, right? You're attempting to get over VWAP right now. What do you know about that? Now, again, the reason I was doing another show, I do the show from basically 8:30 in the morning till 1. The reason I like doing it, most of my trades between 9:45 and 11:30, is that's where the best action is. By this time of the day, you're already in consolidation mode. So the breakouts are going to be less and less. Like this BMNR. If BMNR was breaking 42.50 at 9:45 this morning, the stock would already be at $45. And now you're in the middle of the day, you got this malaise, and now it's probably going to get stopped out of the last lot for a loss. But you generally see a lot of consolidation. But this is where you go to work, right? You go and check all the names that you've been trading and what they're doing. And every once in a while, you'll stumble onto like SRPT. I know there's a guy out there trading this thing religiously. Awesome. Got himself a 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal on a stock that they basically said our drug is killing people and we've committed fraud. And that's what the stock's doing today. Faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. They basically said we might not exist a year from now. Oh, great. Buy me. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like there's no reason for the stock to be going up. And those are the kind of stocks you want to buy. That's the ironic nature of the market. but also that ironic nature, right? Still, let it be validated. You thought, okay, it would be funny if this stock went up on all this bad news. Yeah. Oh, look, now that idea is being confirmed by the VWAP and prior day VWAP. And you see how it was jiggling along? There's the jiggle and the shuffle, right? It's jiggle, 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 shuffle, shuffle, shuffle at the prior day VWAP, resolution higher. So kind of like with Halliburton, right? We're in that name because we jiggle, 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 shuffle, 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 broke, and we're still in. And now you raise your stop. By the way, be my guest to, we almost got to 2150 on Halliburton. I was hoping to get out at 50, but now you raise your stop to 2116, right? Now, if anybody did short the Qs again on that subtle notion, good job, right? Right? The jiggling and the shuffling has resolved to the downside. And now you say, what? I thought we're not allowed to go down. I know, right? Something's changed over the last 48 hours. We saw late day selling yesterday, residual selling this morning, and they're still out there. So maybe this dash for trash moment is doing what it normally does. It leads to an overall market consolidation and a little selling. And that's kind of where the market is right now. We've had a monstrous run, right? Wouldn't be too surprised to give back what? Break under today's lows. And again, here's the monthly VWAP, right? The monthly VWAP was the last sell-off. You don't think we could pull back 9 points? We've rallied from 396 to 566. It's unheard of. It's almost a 50% move on the entire market without a pullback. It really is. I hate to say the word unprecedented, but it kind of is. And I'm just trying to hold on to some rational thought that just like we've seen some corrections in the high flying names, there needs to be an overall correction in the Qs, and it just doesn't want to come. But at least the last 2 days, we've managed to make some money, and I'm gonna give back $100 on this BMNR trade. So while I got you out there, let me just check the interweb. If anybody has any questions, these last half an hour that I spent with you, and this will be the rest. I'm probably going to cash out today. I am sitting here. Again, this BMNR trade might be my only loss. And again, I took something off the table, so it's not a complete loss. But this has been perfect. If RTX comes back, that'd be extra special. And if you bought the RTX, when I bought the RTX, we're already making money on that trade. So how you doing? Accidentally bought more of a contract that I thought I was dollar cost averaging in. Meanwhile, I'm not even in it. Now I'm actually making money. I love it when a plan comes together. All right. So let me go on the interweb. If you guys have any questions, or you have any questions, guy in the back, this is your time. I will answer as many as I can. Myrna, open. All right, hang on. Baba Booey. Check, check. Sound should be better now. All right, let me go try the interweb. $11 whole people? 11. Really? Bye-bye. Wow. We're going places, Dawn. Dawn, we're going places. All right, let's go back to that open trade. Rejected at the VWAP, right? So you got yourself that little blow off top. That's negative. Just like the finger of God that we had on Coke and the Qs. Wicket over there. That's more or less stopping the shorter out, and then it rolls back over. Not a fan. Not a fan of being long right this second. But if it doesn't break down and just consolidates down here and makes a turn, I might give it another shot. By the way, still got the BMNR. They haven't come from my last lot. So still hanging out with this garbage. Oh, you made more in 1 week than in 6 months. Well, that's good. Thanks. Hey, listen, if you want to tell that story, what I would like, because we've been doing some advertising finally, is real life testimonials. So if you guys, again, I'm hearing a lot of that. And again, coming from me, it's nice, but coming from you guys, it's even better hearing that the plan is working. We had an open house a couple of weeks ago, and while people were on their open house, they paid for their year. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. Because these trades keep showing up. I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. The Coles trade, all right, that's over. Yeah, I mean, depending on if you use that half as your out, it just ended at the half. So I don't know if that was a blow off top candle, but these wicks, these candles are obviously not real. Sometimes they become real, which is crazy. But yeah, if you sold up on the way up, 74, 62, half. On the way back down, same prices. Trade's over for now, but 1385, I'd try it again. Again, the middle of the day makes us think we're not doing the right thing. The middle of the day will confuse and confound all of us because generally we're just chopping around. See, I shouldn't have put that trade on. Oh, my one loss. BMNR just sold it $41. And that wasn't a full loss because I sold, I guess, 60% of it for that quick 50-cent pop. All right. Can't win them all. But let's talk about Coles for a second, right? 4 for 4. 1 short. Sorry, 3 for 3. 1 short, 2 longs, right? You give me another chance at it, especially at the third. Let me see it come back to 1369. If they bleed it down to that level and then it holds and then it turns, or better yet, that. So if, let's say we're looking to buy it back at 1375, it breaks 75 and then faux shows and back above 1375, you buy it. And then you use those levels as your outs. USAR, yeah, it finally broke down, right? But there's something about this stock. I love it. Yeah, I just like the symbol. I like the space. So did very well with it. This one we actually had options, did all right. Traded the stock pretty well. Pre-market, you don't even see this thing was even higher in the pre-market. We were trading at pre-market. But now it broke down under its monthly. I got to see if it breaks down to 11. This is that 1228. Under 1228, you're in this realm right there. You're going to search down for that 1050. Breaks 1050, it's over. Because breaks 1050, it's going back into the muck. But we'll see. This thing has been left for dead once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and it's come back. So I'm a fan. I mean, all these stocks are now on my algorithm. They're all on my scanners. So when they do wake up, I'm the first to notice. Sedgenheimer. Yeah. This, man. I think you're looking at a $40 stock before long. And then if it gets into the 40s, you probably are going to go to $70. And then the only thing left after solar would be the weed stocks, which oddly enough, there is been some buying in the weed stocks. We're really just scraping the bottom of the barrel. This is the MJ index. They split adjusted it. If you're wondering, it didn't really go back to 20. But there's been some buying in the weed index for the last couple of days. I mean, these are the worst stocks of them all. These are beyond garbage because there's no volume either. Like, does anybody even trade Tilray anymore? Dude! Oh, because it's a penny stock now. 61 million shares? I guess that's something. These are the ones I used to trade. Cron. Got 1 million shares. Remember VFF? I'm a GRWG. Oh, nice. So yeah, I mean that's where we're at right now, and I'm coming in. I'm gonna go into the afternoon looking for shorts. I'm coming in tomorrow looking for shorts, even though I know it hasn't been working. But now that you could feel it. I mean, I could feel it. The pump and dumps absolutely took over the market, and we're in the deepest trash heap I've ever seen. And this dash for trash has been going on for so long. But now that those ran out of steam, usually the next phase is the market runs out of steam, and then you get a decent correction. We'll see. Remember, if we stay bullish, we only have one more month to get through it. If we get through August, September is notoriously bearish anyway. So it's almost, maybe we grind around, what is this, the end of July? And then we make it through, Apple's on the 31st, Apple, Amazon. We got to get through the earnings season. If none of those really truly disappoint, we're probably going to be in the same realm. And then we'll have the correction in September if we make it past August. And then everybody thinks October's a bad year because we've had crashes. October is usually not a bad month, because we're usually coming back from September, which is the bad month. Not that we need to predict what's going to happen, because obviously we just trade what we see. Right. Yeah. Third week of August, that's when it starts up. Yeah. But you see how the scanners aren't even moving? It's telling you, like, people are just taking a snooze. This is summer midday. I mean, you're getting some slowdowns now, but there's nothing slower than August, middle of the day. Oh, man. It's hard to stay awake. And you're just not supposed to trade it. We are volume traders. If there's no volume, then don't trade. So what else you got? I don't know. ATAI is a mushrooms company? Really? Yo, what the hell is that? What is this? Yo, what is this stock? I want in. What is this? I like hallucinate. I like that space. You know about MindMed? MNMD? Yeah, that's the one I used to own. I don't know where that stock is anymore. Oh. Wow. Yeah, you're onto something, man. These stocks have had all nice moves. What's the other one? Oh, PSIL. That one I know. Oh. Wow. Congrats. I had no idea the sector was ripping. Very cool. Yeah. Want to take some chocolates? Hang out? What are you doing Saturday? Can't do that stuff no more. Makes me nauseous. But actually, I do like the space. Yeah, I actually do own one, and the symbol was Spliff at the time. I have it in one of my accounts. I don't even know if it's a publicly traded company anymore. SPLIF. I think it became a different symbol. But Spliff, how do you not buy it? They were not only into weed, but they were into the hallucinogenics too. I don't even know if it exists anymore. I bought it because the symbol was Spliff. What you got? KSCP. Oh, well, you just got a monster there. That is Andy Dufresne to that prior monster VWAP. I'd be a seller and almost done with this trade. Yeah, because you got two Andy Dufresnes, to a monster 9-month VWAP. Let's take a look at the yearly. Yeah, I got to be a seller, you know. I wouldn't dump the whole thing, but you just had a monster trade. You got to, and apparently, I don't even remember trading this stock. It's so crazy how many stocks we've traded. These red lines indicate that I put trades on. I don't even remember this stock. No clue what this is. Meanwhile, I traded it. It's so nuts. That's look at that. We were picking it off the lows that day. No idea. No idea what this is. But yeah, I'd be done with at least I'd probably be done, because you just got 250 got you 5 got you 750, 750 got you 10. I'd probably be dumping on that roll at 930 with 750 as my out on the rest. So pretty much coming to the end of this one. But cool chart coming off. You know, again, that's my favorite chart pattern of all of them. Once they go sideways for an extended period of time. Yeah. He likes it. So what else you got, right? Nice boring afternoon we got here, right? What else we talking about? I think Halliburton's about to come to an end as well, my friends. I'm going to sell the Halliburton soon. What up, homie? What? Johnny fell down the well again? Oh no, not Neo. I mean, it's like pick me every stock. Speaking of garbage, wait a minute. How about that sell at 3 and 306 on CDLX? Right? Nailed it. Right? You're almost done with this bad boy. You know, if I had any left, I'd be selling this one too. If anybody's in CDLX. So we're right back to the original, you know, the start of this day. Back to Clove. You guys, not selling this one. Monster move. There was a rumor that the stock was caught up in a news story that wasn't even supposed to be the stock. But this is my favorite Andy Dufresne. Right? We picked this one off the penny stock list. Crushed it. Really thought, you know, I actually bought more when it was up here, and I got blown out of it. And then I just bought it back on this faux show moment right here. I'm in. I'm not getting out unless it breaks under 250. So I don't know why. There's something about this stock. I think it's going to get squeezed one more time. So my target is $7 to be in the stock. I'm in the stock at 285 with 35-cent risk to try to, you know, possibly make myself 4 points. I'm in. So I just bought that pivot, and I'm not getting out. And still got the SRAD. That's basically my whole portfolio. What do you got? Oh, wait. Boulder. The LDR, I know that stock. No, this is not what I thought it was. But you know what else is moving right here? Oh, actually, you know what? Let me show you this PHM. There's a reason I didn't mention it, because normally I'm not a fan of the gap and go. I like the gap and crap, right? The stock was gapped up huge, right? So my natural default is to wait for a short, and it never developed, right? I'm chopping around, I'm chopping around, I'm chopping around. I'm waiting for one of these chops to break down, and never broke down. So, you know, this is one of those situations where, do I buy the new high break? No, I just don't trade it, because I don't like trading against my standard, right? At least the trade told me don't short it, right? So I just avoided it. Doesn't mean you can't buy it at 18, the 18 break to make this money, but again, if you guys did trade it, this is one of those gap and goes. Usually you get a gap up, you'll sell, then maybe you'll go, but yeah. DHI, same kind of thing. Yeah, gap and go. Let's give it up for Straza. I was talking about buying the home builders 2 weeks ago. Dumpster diving, AMC. Yeah, I mean, that is the dumpster, right? The thing is, the volume dried up, right? I mean, that's why I don't look at it anymore. When this thing starts getting 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 million shares days again, it'll probably be more interesting. But GameStop still moves enough. But the trade we're all missing, and I'm mortified right now because I just spotted it. I'm absolutely mortified that not one person in here, after all the jokes we've made about the stock, nobody's mentioning it. Come on, what stock is it? Before I go, I just noticed it. I'm a freaking horrified right now. What do you think I'm talking about? Not Tiger, good choice, but come on. Nobody? It's the bane of my existence right now. Q's. The hell are we doing, people? It's my favorite stock. I didn't even, what the, how am I not seeing this? You got yourself a 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal on a stock that I just told you was going to $18 yesterday, and they've been chopping the shit out of it. What the hell are we doing not long this stock right now? See, this is where I have my son trading with me now. See, I'll blame him now for this. But you didn't even say it. Shut up. It's your fault. By the way, if you don't know, you need a scapegoat in your life as a trader. Remember, it's never your fault you lost money. You got to blame somebody else. Blame your wife, your dog, the electricity went out. I just went to lunch and then the stock moved without me. Sure it did. Everybody's got every story, right? I blame my kid now. I blame my son. Like at first, he was like, damn, why are you ripping on me all day? I'm like, because you're there. Yeah, the stock has earnings tomorrow. Oh, that's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. But God damn it. This one's, it's like on the top of my list. I don't know how I missed this today. Because look, this stock is under accumulation. And this is one of the biggest Andy Dufresne's of the year. This is the quadruple Andy Dufresne. This is ridiculous, right? And it already had the move, right? It had most of its move. But I think there might be more, because look at this chart. It's still below the orange line. The bigger, when you zoom out to 5 years, you've had some fun. And we've had some fun with this stock over the last year. This stock legitimately crashed from 160, I believe it was. And there's no, I guess sometimes actually the reverse stock splits make these things go even better. So here's its lifetime on the VWAP. Oh, Billy. What's that chart remind you of, right? Every one of these charts should conjure up a feeling and a memory. What's that look like? Come on, you're in it already, right? Looks like Sedge, right? Yeah, it looks a little bit like the Carvana. And you'll start to notice that every one of these Andy Dufresne chart patterns looks the same, because it is the same. You're looking for beaten up names that go sideways and come out of the muck. That's why, even though this one has gone absolutely freaking parabolic, you're not even above its lifetime VWAP from where you factor in everything this thing's done. This is a lifetime VWAP. You don't really talk about lifetime VWAPs too often. Lifetime VWAP's at $18.17. I got to think this thing's going for $18.17, but that's where this party could get started on this stock. So tomorrow is going to be the make or break, because if they report earnings, and let me tell you this right now, stop what you're doing. If this stock, and again, my son, you hear me? Listen to what I'm saying now, so I won't hear you saying I didn't mention it. Here's a stock that could be looking to go to 18, and if it breaks 18, you're thinking 38. All right, no joke. Right, you're thinking right here around 37.50. You break 18, you're in these. You're in this zone right here around 35 to 38. Okay. So now let's bring it all home. I got a trade that works almost every time it shows up. When it shows up on an earnings report, it works every time. Okay. So now if we come in tomorrow morning and QS is getting annihilated on whatever their earnings report is, what are you going to say? You're going to say, ooh, when do I buy it? So if we come in tomorrow, right? This is like the QQQ trade. So here's your idea. If the QS, whatever the stock is named, QuantumScape, I think it is, QuantumScape reports blah, blah, blah earnings. Stocks gap down. Analysts are coming out of the woodwork to downgrade the stock. The message boards are lighting up how it's a pump and dump. And then you see this thing, faux show, bro, VWAP break. And if you're not buying it tomorrow, stop trading forever. And I mean it. So this is where you prepare for battle. You're coming in today, like I came in today with purpose. Halliburton's gap down, I'm in. Coke's down, give me a VWAP break, I'm in. Looking for residual selling on the Qs, I'm in. I should have been looking at QS. I don't know what the hell I was doing because I'm just too distracted, right? And then the coals. Oh, it's after tomorrow? Well, that just dampened the whole talk. All right, apparently it's tomorrow after the close. All right, so we'll revisit this trade Thursday morning. So, but this process that I go through, I know what stocks I'm going to trade. Some I don't. I pick them off the scanner, off the the percentage and the volume breaker. But generally, I know what I'm going to be trading tomorrow ahead of schedule, and I'll give you some of the names I'll be trading. You ready? ENPH. They're reporting earnings tonight, right? So you got to watch that tonight. Texas Instruments, chips, love it. You guys know about the high price of eggs, whether they've come down. Apparently, the price of eggs are down 173%. So now, if you walk into the grocery store, you just say eggs, and they give you $1.70 and a dozen eggs. Amazing. Nobody drops the price of eggs like I do. Down 170% since I've been in office. Like I said, just walk into any grocery store, just say eggs, and they give you $1.70 and a dozen eggs. Fantastic. Biden couldn't do that. But CalMaine, CALM, is the egg distributor that caused the crisis of the eggs because this company should be indicted. They were artificially creating high prices in eggs and keeping them high by using the, market making manipulated tactics of the egg industry. I don't know, but they're reporting earnings, and that should be a big player tomorrow. The stock tends to rip. You'll see 10%, maybe even 20% move on the stock tomorrow. So CLM, only day you usually want to trade that stock. And then you got a lot of banks, little banks, regional banks. I'm not interested. Don't care. So I'm going to go SAP. I'm going to go ENPH. I'm going to go Texas Instruments. I'll look at Capital One, COF, and obviously the egg company, CLM. So now you got that focus list. And what I also like to do is obviously the stocks that are in play, I'm going to be looking at Open and NVTS. And by the way, NVTS, what's up, my NVTS players? Sorry, I didn't mention that one. Dumped this bad boy at the Open because the residual seller from yesterday showed up, and I should have hit the button twice, but sold it. Could have went short. Monster sell-off. Faux show, bro. Actually, still own the stock. I don't know. Come and say hello. I don't know. Come and say hello. Remember this person?
Sup? Oh.
She used to sit on the desk. We've come a long way. On the desk. And now
come a long way.
And now she's going back to, I'm driving her back to UGA next week. So that's where I'll be. So get familiar with what we're doing. Make that money. Good seeing you. I'm going to cut out of here 2 minutes early. It's been a fantastic day. Make sure you get in touch with my corporate overlords. August 16th, we're going to bring it all home. 2-hour, maybe 3-hour session going through these charts. I will take questions. I will give you answers. And let's just keep on keeping on, because the trade is relentless. What's the word that Thanos used? I am inevitable. These trades are they're perpetual, inevitable, and they're awesome. And the more people I teach the trade to, there's no doubt it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And these trades continue to work better and better every year, because I think I'm just spreading the gospel. So tell 10 friends and join our cause. And I'll see you again next week, probably at 12. Or maybe we just do this at 11 because I have a little bit more energy. And it's a lot more exciting between 11 and 12 than 12 and 1. All right. Have a great day. I'll see you in cyberspace. And we still got the Halliburton, right? Still hanging with the Halliburton and RTX. So that's all we got left. All right. Namaste. Oh, wait, before